He's not going to get past this one. He throws deep in the corner, and there's no one there. But he did get rid of the football, and that was an excellent effort by Heath Hartman to get rid of the football. And our pass blocking, John, just was not there.
No, both those defensive players came up the middle too, and that first man was one of their down linemen. So I don't believe it was a stunt that they had called, but they definitely put some pressure on Hartman from the middle.
Kevin Horn is going to get a second shot at the field goal. His ball hooks to the left, so this should be a good hash mark for him. It'll be a 22-yard field goal attempt, and it did not. It's tipped, and it's a touchback. They'll take the ball out on the 20-yard line. The Warriors have missed another excellent scoring opportunity and still find themselves only ahead by 6 points. And that fumble ended up not hurting Denton and taking quite a bit of time off the clock with 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in the third quarter.
You've got to put points on the board when you've got opportunities like South has had. And, of course, the first one they did, they were able to capitalize on. But this one they fell just a little bit short. I'm sure they'd like to have some points.
Don't have enough men on the field. Here comes another Warrior. Thank goodness they weren't running this way. But they did run the counter again, the inside counter. They flow to the left, hand off to the inside man back to the right, and he is number, I don't know, I'm sorry, I didn't catch who was carrying the ball, but it is a gain of 5 on the first carry.
We see, or at least I see somebody in there I haven't seen before, number 83, Jason Height.
We're split to the near side, 2 backs split to the near side. The backfield is strong near side, another fumble. And the quarterback does fall on this, but he loses a yard, and that's 3 fumbles. 2 the Gophers, 3 fumbles this half. 2 the Warriors have gotten, and 1 now finally that Denton's gotten back. Third down and a long 8.
Well, we were talking in the first half about how Coach Jim Bateman of Denton always has the fundamentals down, and he's got to be pulling his hair out at this point of the game. Early in this second half, with 2 minutes and 43 seconds left, he's already put the ball on the ground 3 different times from the offensive side of the ball, and they're just not going to generate anything going in that direction.
Third down and 8. Split strong to this side. They fake a counter. They're all over him, but they don't get to him. And it was a high pass. Could have been intercepted. There was no receiver except Warriors that had a shot at that, and he got some pressure, John. The quarterback did, but he got away from that pressure, and it brings up 4th down and 8, and they will get the punt. At least they don't get the fumble this time.
South defense definitely has shut off Denton's offense, and when South's defense hadn't stopped them, well, Denton has been able to stop themselves. So if they can continue to keep this type of play up the second half, there's a
good high punt,
about
35, 40 yards, good field. That is Saunders, makes a move to the outside. Good speed by Saunders, moves to the inside, makes 2 nice moves. Gives a lot of return credit to number 27, our flanker, Gary Saunders, the senior, 5'9", 140 pounds, makes 3 moves. And John, once again, the Warriors have excellent field position. If they can't come away with points down here, they're letting Denton have a chance to win this ball game.
Mike, this is right around the 30-yard line. I think this is really the first time they've had the ball outside the 30-yard line this half. So this is the worst field position they've had, and it's outstanding.
Hartman's got black split to both sides. 2 setbacks in the veer. He rolls 3 steps rolling, looking to the outside, and it's a way low pass intended for, I believe that is Hayes over there, yes, intended for David Hayes, the senior, but the ball was underthrown, and it brings up 2nd down and 10.
A tough throw for Hartman there, rolling to his left, throwing across his body, and the problem with the quarterback on that type of play is that he doesn't actually get to square around and set his feet where he can get all of his arm action on the ball, and he's strictly throwing that with his arm, not getting to get his body in on the ball at all.
Field camera shows you Hartman, the man under that offensive line, hand off there, and the offensive line did not make the blocks, and there's 4 Denton players on top of Gary Howard for a gain of about, I don't know how Gary got 2 out of that, John, but brings up 3rd down, and the offense is starting to sputter again. 3rd down and a long 8.
Mark Elaine and David Wright both on the field. Number 76 over here on the right guard spot is David Manriquez.
It's a look-in pattern over the middle. Saunders is there. Touchdown! The senior, Gary Saunders, and a great leap and dive. Good footwork. It was a streak pattern. And the Warriors come up 3rd and 8 and go 28 yards down the field for a touchdown to Gary Saunders, the senior.
Well-placed ball by Hartman. A great catch by Saunders and resulted in another 6 points. There you see it on the replay. That brings the score at this point to the Warriors 25 and the Broncos 14.
And I guess they didn't believe me. They know they want to go for 1 now, but they do have Ricky Armijo will be kicking this one. He has not kicked one since, and there's a nice one by Ricky, and that's good. And the score now is 26 for Grand Prairie, 14 for Denton.
Mike, I tell you what, a factor that you have to start thinking about, of course, I'm sure they don't mind it, is that this half has been just the opposite of the first half. The offense has spent all the time on the field for the Warriors. Their defense ought to be well rested, but I did notice a couple of the guys that are going both ways are starting to maybe drag a little bit, and this might be an opportunity for the defensive coaches to maybe rest them and put some fresh guys in there. And I think that last series for the defense, we did see Jason Hyde in there, which you noticed was number 83. That was his first time in the game, and I think it may have been to rest some guys like Mark Elaine and David Wright and give them a little bit of a breather. They've played an awful lot of minutes here this second half, only with a minute 25 seconds remaining in the third quarter. South's offense has been on the field probably all but about 2 or 2.5 minutes of that 12.
David Gray, once again, kicking off. Special teams have done a good job so far on kickoffs. Comes down to number 8. He's carried it most every time. He's got a hole, and he breaks into the open and is off stride, and David Gray does make a bump, but Al Sneed, David Gray, the kicker, was not the safety. Al Sneed was the safety, and he was still back, John, so he wasn't quite as in the open as he looked.
Best field position of the second half up to this point for Denton, and we'll see if they are content to stay with their running offense or if they're going to put the ball in the air a few more times. They hadn't had too much success with that either so far, Mike, this second half.
We're pretty well split to both sides. Wingman comes around to lead the counter play, and that play is open, and just give him a gain of 14 yards, and that was 35, Chris Morris. And, you know, we talked about that Short, Chad Short, 31. Now, he scored 2 touchdowns, John, but basically he hadn't carried the ball that much.
No, number 25, Jerry Toris, is the guy that we've seen break a lot of the counter plays, and I don't really know exactly what kind of yardage he's got, but he's been a key player for them on offense.
Well, the natural play for the counter is the wingman. We have an illegal motion call there, and there is the counter with Jerry Toris, like we talked about. We get a free shot on him because this play's coming back, and 6 Warriors decide to welcome Toris to 5A football. But that play was open again, John.
Sure was. Number 89 on the bottom of that pile, Son Rubino, is a little bit slow in getting up.
63 is going to come in, I believe, to spell him just a little bit.
Well, he started in on the field, and Son was waving his hands that he was okay, so Rubino's...
Well, let's call his name out anyway. 63, Neil McNamara, the junior, was ready, but he didn't get in.
And Neil goes at about 6'2" and 255.
Yeah, he's smaller than me, but he's definitely a good-sized boy. Hughes splits the far side. The rest of the backs split twin wings, single back. It's a passing situation. There it is to the outside. Hughes, ball's in his hand, but it didn't lead him, John. He had to come back for the ball and didn't make the catch.
That was the play that they ran down on the goal line and scored their second touchdown, and this time number 20, Hughes, just couldn't make a play on that ball. That one kind of fluttered out there. I don't know whether that slipped out of Kozura's hand or whether it was just a bad throw, but in any event, they misconnected on that one for no gain. That's going to bring up second and a long 15.
Toris, number 25, comes in with the play. We're set tight with Hughes split short to the near side. It is a straight handoff to number 35, and we have a shoestring tackle that might have saved the first down. That shoestring tackle by number 89, Sean Rubino. Ball carrier did gain 7 or 8 yards on that play, John, but it is going to bring up third down and 8 because that penalty had moved, that motion penalty had moved the ball back.
Yeah, and they've got to play the pass here. The main objective, I think, that the South coaching staff wants out of their defensive team right here is to put some pressure on the quarterback, number 7.
That's the end of the third quarter. Time ran out. We're going to move it around, folks. We're going into the last 12 minutes of football with South Grand Prairie Warriors, 26. It's been all South Grand Prairie this second half so far. They have put 13 unanswered points on the scoreboard and have missed 2 field goals besides, plus an extra point. So Denton will be taking the ball on the Warriors, around the Warriors' 45-yard line with a big third down play. Let me remind you again that this game is brought to you by Store Cable TV with the assistance of our radio and TV class from South Grand Prairie High School and our 7 sponsors. You heard their names at the first of the broadcast. We want to thank them. I'll try to name them. I don't have them in front of me, but there is the All-Star Athletics, the Hair Performance, DFW Medical Center, James Hostler, MD, First City National Bank, NCMB Bank, and Louis Jolly Real Estate. Tight formation, 3-step, quick look-in pass, and trouble was, John, nobody was looking in.
Sure weren't, and he kind of threw that one into the ground. That was a
man wasn't even
down
looking
play
at
for
it.
the defense, and that's going to bring up a punting situation. You're going to have Saunders deep to receive the punt, or the expected punt.
We haven't mentioned it, folks, and we shouldn't assume you'd understand this, but it's real simple why Denton is running the counter play. The Warriors' strong suit, John, is their team speed, and the biggest way to neutralize team speed is a misdirection play. Send your lineman to keys one way and counter back the other way. And I'm sure they've tried to. What happened?
We had a penalty. I didn't see what it was, but
first down from the 31-yard line. I'm sorry you missed that, folks.
That was a big penalty.
Yeah, we didn't even see it. And there's a big play right there. There was a gain of 8 yards. And that was just a dive play, John. And that man ran, was that number 30? I think that was Chris Morris. I'm not sure, number 35, but he gained 8 yards on that dive play. It was Morris, number 35. We come strong to the near side. Hughes and Toris to the near side. There's the counter play to number 45, and that's Sean Peterson. And they did stack it up, give him a gain of 1 and third down and 1. And I'm sorry, folks, we missed that penalty.
And, Mike, the last thing that South wants to do here is give Denton a touchdown.
A quick one, too.
That would bring Denton, taking into consideration that they've kicked the extra point, it'd bring them back within 5 points. And, I mean, we literally have Denton down on the canvas. You don't want to let them back up here.
Split to the near side. They belly up to that play's the one they made 8 yards on just 2 plays ago, and they get good mileage out of it again. John, they've spotted something in that line because they're splitting the tackle and the nose guard, and they're getting a good technique on the linebacker, and they're making huge yards. And here comes another linebacker in because they're trying to get a fresh linebacker in to slow this down. Neville's is coming out, and Cullum, 56, is coming in. First down from the 18. Pitch to Peterson, sweeping the end, and he's in the wide open. That's a touchdown. And this game is wide open again, John. And that penalty put 6 on the board, and I'm sorry again, we missed it, both of us. But there was a penalty that gave them a first down instead of a fourth down. 3 plays later, Denton is in to score, and like John said, it's 26-20. There's no percentage here. They will kick. They're 6 points down. The kick is good. They'll be 5 points down, and a touchdown would immediately put them ahead. And that's an excellent foot off that kicker. And the score now is South Grand Prairie 26, Denton 21. Folks, hang on to your hats because there's plenty of time left. 10 minutes and 31 seconds, John. And those 5 points aren't that big a number right now.
No, and it really seems unusual because especially after watching the third quarter, which was all the Warriors, it doesn't seem like the game at this point should be this close. Denton has only come up with one sustained drive, which was helped out by that penalty, and other than that, the whole second half has been the Warriors. So one slip up at this point could mean disaster for South.
Second guessing is something that we probably shouldn't do, but I'll tell you right now, the Warriors have got to compose themselves. They're having trouble getting the right 11 men on the field, John, for the kickoff. They've changed 2 or 3 personnel. 2 or 3 of the coaches are talking to some of the defensive players as if they missed their keys, and it's a unhappy group of campers on the Warrior sideline right now.
Yeah, this would definitely be a good time. I'm sure the one thing that they could do to make the coaching staff forget about that would be to come up with a big specialty team play right here. So let's see if we can't get our kickoff return team to untrack here and maybe make that good return. We're going to have number 42, which is Al Sneed, and number 46, Toris Wilder, back deep to receive this kickoff. A lot of speed is represented in those 2 men.
Schroeder does all the kicking chores, as we talked earlier, and he will be kicking off. Number 5, Cody Schroeder, 175-pound senior.
We hadn't called out Jason Viaba's name.
He hadn't been in the game
tonight, and we apparently he must be suffering from some sort of an injury. He is on the kickoff receiving team right now.
Well,
one of the up 5 linemen, along with number 30, who is Adrian Sample.
Comes deep. It's going to be Al Sneed, number 42, and an amazing kick. And Al, you better down it. No, Al, you can't. You can't. It's live. You got to come out. Boy, did they dodge a bullet right there. Did they dodge a bullet right there? And one man stopped Al Sneed, and he was nearly stopped in the end zone for a safety, John.
Mike, I think that was a design play.
No, it wasn't. If we got a replay, we'll show you where Al Sneed nearly made a major mistake by coming out and trying to go back into the end zone.
It may be a design play next week.
Yeah, no
he
coach
completely fooled the coverage team. Hopefully we'll have it. Here we go. Now he picks this up. Now right there, it's too late to go back in the end zone. He's come out and he's committed, and he did definitely make the most of it. Like Mike said, that one man right there is the man to beat, and that was the kicker.
We got a clipping call that moves us back. Penalties. I would have to say that if the Warriors do finally lose this game, John, excessive amount of penalties will be one of the major factors. They're ahead right now, but there has been an awful lot of penalties, key penalties. They had excellent field position up near the 50, and instead they're on their 29-yard line, 1st and 10. Pitch to Lawrence around in. The blocking's not there, and there's nothing going, and that ball, he's stopped on the line of scrimmage.
Number 55, one of those middle backers that we've talked about throughout the game, Dale Michelle, is the guy that came up and broke that play down. Had a little bit of blocking out in front of him, and when he tried to turn it back up inside, they had cut him off on the outside. When he tried to turn it back up inside, Michelle came and completely cut what was left off.
Shepard and Saunders split. Gary Hard, we hand off to Lawrence around the outside. He gets a kick-out block by number 60.
Mark Elaine.
Mark Elaine, and he gets up the field for about 7 yards, bring up 3rd down and 10. When I said the blocking wasn't there, what I meant was that we had our men out there blocking, but the key on that option, somebody's got to get a defender down the ground because the defenders keep their feet. They just keep stringing it out.
Yeah, and Denton has had success tonight in getting at least 2 men out there to string plays out. Coach Patton there, you see with the headset on, is really involved in this game in calling these offensive plays.
Big 3rd down, split backs. There it is. That's the 5 yards. The defensive man was offside, so the quarterback gooses the center. The center snaps, and we get 5 yards.
Got to be on the defense here. You see Denton's defense clapping, but they're not going to fool anybody because that's going to be on
that man's on
the defense.
And that defensive man steps across. That's a set play. The quarterback nudges the center snaps the ball, and then that's an offsides or encroachment, as John says, on the defense, and that's the 1st down we needed, and it's 1st down from the 41-yard line. It's not the only 1st down we need.
Continually improving the field position, and the offense needs to eat up some time and move the ball down and score here.
We're split to the near side. Saunders, and that play went nowhere and started nowhere. Good defense by Denton.
Again, number 55 in on the play to break that one down. And Denton has done very good as far as their pursuit. They seem to always have a lot of men around the ball whenever they run the sweeps to either side, and their pursuit has definitely kept them in the game defensively tonight.
Saunders to the near side, Hayes to the far side. Howard in motion on an option play. They set the option, hand off to Gerald Lawrence back across the option, and he gets absolutely nothing. It's going to be third down and maybe give him half a yard.
That play never quite developed. David Wright had his man down on the ground. Number 78 for Denton is D. Hargrove. Had his man blocked down on the ground, and he was actually the man that stuck his hand up and grabbed Gerald's foot as he went by.
Third down and a long 7. Tight on the near side, split to the far side. Wingman is in, and that's Al Sneed, and he's the option man, but Hartman takes it up the middle, finds no running room. Denton had done an excellent job of stringing the play out, and Hartman had to keep it, and it's going to be fourth down and about 4. And what the Warriors did not want to do right now with Denton having the momentum is to kick to them.
Yeah, and they're starting to generate a little momentum too over on Denton's side of the ball, because they've made some pretty big defensive plays here to turn the ball back over to their offense, and it's going to be up to their offense to see if they can keep that momentum going. Need a good punt here by Kevin Horn. We're going to call a timeout first, though.
See, here we are.
Again,
we don't know who's supposed to be on the field. We're into our 4th game, folks. We need to have a clue what's going on here.
That left South with 2 timeouts left, and those timeouts may be very critical in the last portion of this game, as close as it's been up to this point.
You don't want to use a timeout, John, to punt. You'd probably be just as well off taking a 5-yard penalty, because, might make it up on the punt. But you burn a timeout now with 7 minutes left, you might need it later. But they did. Had the wrong personnel, wasn't sure where they were supposed to be, so now we're going to punt, and maybe with the right personnel in there. 43, the man back, and I hope I'm not prophesying anything, but that's that Dale Chunn, and he's been bothering me all night. I hope he doesn't hurt us right here.
Number 2 snapping the ball, John Shepard. This is the only time you'll see a number such as that over the ball.
Good high kick, but doesn't get the distance, but there shouldn't be a return.
Uh-oh. Apparently he had called for a fair catch. I never saw the
never saw the arm go up.
And
but
apparently he didn't either.
Well, now, it might not be a fair catch. You've still got to give him 1 yard to receive the ball. But I guess they're going to say he's signaled for a fair catch, but I never saw the arm come up.
He never made an attempt to run with the ball, I know, after he caught it.
Personal foul, and what did we say earlier about those penalties, John? They're killing the Warriors.
Denton would have had the ball on about the 25-yard line then, and instead it's going to be moved out to about the 40.
The Warriors are well over 100 yards in penalties, John, and every one of them at the wrong time.
Denton doesn't need to be inspired at this point of the game by anything that any errors that South may make, and that may have sprung a little fire right there.
We're in a 4-4 defense. We're red dogging number 32, and we come around in with Peterson, and he's got a little running room, and he goes down with a gain of about 6 on first down.
You're not going to see Denton vary from their running offense at this point. They're having a relative amount of success in getting those 5- and 6-yard chunks on the running play, and again, that's eating up the clock. We've got 6 minutes and 30 seconds. If they could have some kind of a sustained drive with the touchdown at the end, that's exactly what they'd like to accomplish.
Straight handoff over the middle, that's 35. Chris Morris, and they've got some real mileage out of that play tonight, John, and there's a first down. And I'm going to tell you this, folks, and I'm here to support the Warriors, but the Warrior defense is backpedaling. They're tired, and Denton right now, John, controls the line of scrimmage.
Al Sneed in on the tackle then.
Split to the near side, tight formation. Counter play over the inside, and there it is, and they got the 4 yards, maybe make it 3. Number 40, and I don't believe he's carried that counter much. Randy Guess, G-U-E-S-S. He's most of the time been a receiver on pass plays. But they got 4 out of it. First down, and they got 4 yards. Second down and 6. And Denton is coming up to the line of scrimmage, pumping on adrenaline. And the Warriors need a big play. Pitch to Peterson. And John, he just second and third effort, and he's going to have a first down.
And they pulled a whole lot of people in, Mike, and led that play over there on that side. They had a couple of backs and probably a pulling guard that led that play around there. And when you get that many people out in front of that ball carrier, as a defense, you better have a lot of pursuit over there to break it up, or exactly what happened just then is a result. He gained enough for the first down, and they're in business. They've eaten up over a minute and a half so far off the clock just in this drive, and are still going with first down at about 35.
Split to the near side. Straight handoff to 35. Been a bread and butter play, and they're going to get 4 out of it this time.
42 Al Sneed, and also number 25 Cedric Brock in to make a hard hit, but not after he'd made about 4 yards, 5 yards on the play. Second and about 5.
Coach sends the plays in for Denton, just like the Warriors do. Coach's play. Hughes is going to be split. The rest of the line's going to be in tight, shoulder to shoulder. Wingman's going to be in the play. Here he comes. It's a fake to him. Handoff up the middle, and it stopped. Probably stopped him on the line of scrimmage. Straight handoff. They were faking the wingman around. That's 35. Once again, Chris Morris.
And you had Neville in on the play also, and I'm trying to see if Mark Elaine is in there.
Jason Ashley, number 4, has been, I'm sorry we didn't call his name out. He's been on defense this last series and just came out. 3-step drop, throwing back across the field. There's a tip drill. Nobody can get to it.
Number 75 batted the ball up in there, David Lucas, and he's played a good game in the middle tonight. Also number 40 out there is Deron Jones. Got number 42. We've been calling Al Sneed's name out quite a bit. Number 88 on the field right now is Jason Webb. 4th down and 6. They will go for it. 4 minutes, 5 seconds. The Warriors leading 26-21, 5-point lead. Denton with momentum, 4th down and 6. 3-step, look out pass. And they're going to give him a catch, and it's going to be dependent on the mark. I believe they got it, Mike. I
can't see the ball. Where his feet's going to be. They're marking his feet on the far side of the 26-yard line.
I think he got it just by the nose of the ball.
I think you're right. I think we've got a first down by about 3 or 4 inches.
I thought for a minute there the receiver might not have known exactly where he was on the field, and then he did have to come back for the ball just a little bit, but I believe he still got down after he caught it.
Time is stopped with 3 minutes and 58 seconds.
Here we see a good
Here's the
shot.
measure. Great shot by the camera.
And it's not going to be by much if they make it.
They're stretching it out. Big measurement. What do you think, folks? Nose of the football. John called it. 2 inches. This is a game of inches, as many people have said, not me. It's a game of inches. If we'd have got a left foot mark, it would have not been a first down. The referee marked with the right foot, the lead foot, and they got a first down. 1st and 10 from just inside the 26-yard line.
We sure have to compliment our camera work on that play. Even though the play didn't turn out like we wanted, that was some outstanding camera work then by our
camera's probably laying on the ground over there to get that shot.
You bet. Wish that camera person could have kicked that ball backwards just a little bit.
That camera person, I think, is the teacher out at South Grand Prairie. He's working the camera right now on the field. I think that's Steve down there. Here's the snap pitch to Peterson to the far side. He's over the middle, comes to the outside. He bounces out to the outside. Al Sneed has a shirt, and Al Sneed saved a touchdown. Gain of about 4, but John, one more step and a finger on a shirt, and Peterson would have been to the outside for a touchdown.
Yeah, and again, Cedric Brock also in on that play. The only problem with that, we've called those two guys' names out a whole lot, and the only problem with that is those guys are safeties and cornerbacks, and you don't want them to have to make the tackles.
Linebackers have got to get in the flow of this defense. Counter play, 25, Toris over the middle, and he's dropped again, and look who drops him, John. Number 42, the safety, and number 40, which is the far side corner.